Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and this is John Rule with us again. We're going to see some photos from Fayetteville, Arkansas. This is the Stilley family, and that's Ed, the senior member there in the center. And he's been making, see those instruments on the wall back there? Those are x-rays of the instruments to show the parts inside. And I was down low making pictures because there were a whole bunch of people there, and I kind of crawled up front to get where I could make pictures. That's why it looks like he's leaning back more than he is, and everybody else is at tight angles. That's Donna and Kelly, and they were big organizers of this show, and have really promoted Ed Stilley. That man with the black shirt, he made those x-ray photos, I believe, and he saw them pretty
amazing what he has inside them.
Yeah, and there's Kelly's big guitar that Ed made.
That's right.
And they all have this one religious message on there.
Right.
And so this is one of the things up on the wall at the show telling you about it. There's Lauren Hawkins. I think she's taking a few shots of them, but we don't have hers with us. But anyway, isn't that amazing? You make an x-ray and then you reverse it and you see what's actually in there, not just a blurry black with odd whites on it, but it's really clear. You ever play any instruments?
No, I tried a little bit on a Hohner harmonica that my dad used to carry in his pocket. He would play Look Down That Lonesome Road and My Blue Heaven and stuff like that.
Well, this family has a lot of instruments. There's some great-grandchild or something with one, I think.
Well, I've seen part of a film, he was in part of a film by the Mulholland, by Kelly and Donna.
Well, there they are, and there's that man that made those pictures.
There's about a number of different Hill artists.
Well, they're Mr. and Mrs., and
wow.
They were singing at home, and these pictures in black and white were made by Flip Putoff, who still takes photos for the morning news, the Northwest Arkansas Times, whatever, and he used them in a whole page layout, which we'll see a mock-up of a little bit, some of those pictures. And I believe that's one of the early instruments he made, and you see the list of ingredients. Well, there was a 1997 page. He wasn't a young man then. See, that's his picture with his wife there.
Right.
We saw it enlarged. And Flip provided the negatives from this page to be used for these blow-ups, this new set of prints that they don't normally make in a newspaper. And it happens Lauren Hawkins, that we saw a minute ago, she actually did the layout for that page in 1997. Oh, there she is. Right. And you may know that
yes,
beautiful lady that left, that's Kyle Kellum's wife, and she's wonderful activist and writer and so forth. And there are a couple of guys we see on the square and happen to see them down there. And they were in the food area, and that lady showed off some of the fancy food. I don't know who made that food, but it's not country cooking. You can tell that. Right. There's a close-up that I actually got away with cropping that shot of Ed somehow, and it worked today. And sometimes I do that, and the photo doesn't work. So you can see this. We're outside that show now, and that's some graffiti on Dixon Street that's officially sanctioned. Thank goodness they're letting some of these graffiti artists. You can see buildings that you see downtown in Fayetteville there. Okay, that's, once again, we mentioned these last week, the passion vine, the tiny.
I recognize your hand.
And you recognize the climbing milkweed in that last photo. Till next time, this Aubrey Shepherd asks you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Hello, it's Aubrey Shepherd on the 26th of August 2013 with John Rule. We're about to see some flower photos and some tall grass and whatnot. And
that's beautiful.
Swamp milkweed. That's at World Peace Wetland Prairie. And this is David Lanier. David's been featured this week in hope the week you're watching this show, his show about him and homelessness, that John's granddaughter, Sarah Moore Churchill, created.
Film.
As not for a master's thesis this time, but I'm sure she got some credit for quality work there. We just missed seeing the spider on that milkweed. I don't know if you could see him on there, but he's the same little camouflage spider that fits into these pink and white flowers and somehow works in with yellow ones. And
I don't think he's a vegetarian.
no, he's looking for me. Okay, this is also at World Peace Welland Prairie, and that's, what'd you call it? What kind of oats?
People told me it was beach oats who'd been down to the Gulf.
Yeah.
And I thought, I said, we call them river oats here. We have them every place.
Yeah. Well, I've seen
And
them
I
at
have
the
them
beach
down
too.
in large quantity this year.
Well, this is the little nature preserve on Rocher Heights, the former Rocher Hill, and you see the apartments have been built, and they did set aside, as promised, this small, that portion is just probably a quarter acre, might be more.
You
I
showed
can't
me
catch it.
that.
Yes, you saw a part of it at least, and this is from uphill, which we couldn't go to before it started opening as it is now. There's one I can't identify. You can see the liatris there, I can identify. And you can see some little blue stem in the background. And I hope we'll see a little closer view. I love the liatris. I mean, they're hard not to photograph. That's little blue stem grass in the background and surrounding that. And you can see the multicolored stems. That's blue stem from the same site, and I may use that one for contrast, how the big blue stem is that turkey foot style.
And it's big.
Yeah, and it's much taller. This is
I
tall sometimes.
I didn't know either one, really. I've not been.
It ain't in the woods much, is it?
No.
But I'll bet if you find openings in the woods up there, you'll find some of this little blue stem.
I'm probably good.
Just like me, you didn't know about it back when I spent a lot of time in the woods. I didn't know from little blue stem, but probably my dad was taking me to those places because it's great places. We quail hunted in the woods.
Thistles.
And that's native thistle, and you can tell by what? The white back of the leaves. So it's not one to get rid of, and I guarantee it'll attract more butterflies than most any other flower you can get. There's more little blue stem flowers, and they'll be going to seed soon, and I hope it reseeds itself well there, and hope people who have access to it on private property of their own will share seed with other people and get it out there to provide for wildlife. There's something disappointing me is that on the original plan for that view project, that power line was supposed to be, they had said they were going to re-landscape with the dirt that was dug out and let plants grow there. They put a street right down the middle. But they own it. We just have the privilege of getting to see that little tiny bit of nature still.
Yeah.
And this, of course, is native honeysuckle. I just like to show it a couple times every month, see how many months it'll bloom straight.
That's Rebecca, the yellow.
I think that's rudbeckia, also called a coneflower. And that's tall green milkweed, the Hertella, Asclepias Hertella. And that's growing at World Peace Welland Prairie. Now see the soft look of that flower and the redder tinge of the center. You can see a difference between it and this one.
Right.
But there's so many yellow flowers this time of year that I can never learn them all. That one clearly qualifies to be called a coneflower because of the way it droops around it and all that sort of stuff. Now we're back to swamp milkweed. Hey, John, thanks for being here again.
Well, thanks for doing all this.
Let's beg everybody to help do their part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. Thank you.
Thank you.